what that means. OSR returns to turn one. Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Fitz. Thank you so much for tuning in. What a interesting night it's going to be. Under the lights on a new build here at Auto Club. OSR, 62 laps of Xfinity racing action coming to you live right here on turn one. All three platforms, thank you so much for being here. Up front here tonight, Philip Ellis, James Curl, your top two, and then Richard Lucky, Robert Barber, and River Hayes, your top five. It's going to be a sporty night on a new iRacing build under the lights at a historic Auto Club Speedway with none other than Ohio Sim Racing. Pace car is going to head down pit road for the first time in the restart zone. Here they go. James Curl, Philip Ellis to the green flag. OSR Racing on Thursday night. Auto Club, what a wild track this is going to be for this group here of Ohio Sim Racing. It's going to be a lot of wide open racing, a bunch of different lines, a bunch of different angles. I hope you brought your snacks because it's going to be a good ride for the next hour or so. James Curl had a really fast qualifying lap right now in that 51 car sitting up front, but in hot pursuit is the 67 and the 7. 3 wide for the lead, lap one. Just going to squeak it out there is Richard Lucky in that 67 car. On the high side, the 54 is going to look to the bottom. Suddenly, James Curl loses 4 spots into turn one. This racetrack's going to be very racy. A lot of places to make passes. 2, 3 wide here. Not like Super Speedway. You're going to be lifting a lot here. You're going to have to manage a tire. But for the first 3 or 4 laps, it's everybody's ball game. Richard Lucky cleaning green out front. Philip Ellis cleaning green out front. Richard Lucky and Robert Barber side by side P2. Ellis is going to have a little bit of pressure. Here comes Barber. Set 2 fast laps back to back. Now on the inside as they roll through turn 3, running a lane lower than our leader. And he's going to get by him. Big move by Robert Barber to take the lead. I don't know if iRacing has ever looked any better under the lights here tonight on a new Season 2 build, who I hear is getting a lot of rave reviews. We'll see what these drivers think here once it's all said and done as River Hayes, Lane Hosler, and Richard Lucky start to swap around some spots here. As we continue to put some laps down. Last time by, including with that pass, Robert Barber able to put down a blistering 40.35 lap. That lap was, I'll tell you what, it was the fastest in the top 10 by about half a second. We'll see what he can do this time by a 40.63. And even to some of the, what I would consider fast talent through here, Richard Lucky, a 41.29. He's off the pace a little bit so far here tonight. Aaron Jackson running the 40.83. Boy, I didn't know Aaron was running tonight. Mr. Jackson in the top 5 here. Does that mean Mrs. Jackson is watching turn 1? If she is, hello, it's a long time no see. Appreciate you tuning in. In the meantime, and the caution's going to be out. Steve Whitmore looks to be involved. He's in the grass with the hood up on that 10 car. That is not Steve Whitmore. That is John Cross. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's take a look here and find out what may have happened to Steve Whitmore to bring the caution out here early at Auto Club. There's Whitmore just in front of John Cross. John, oh no, just gets into the right rear. And that's going to send Whitmore pretty much going to end his night. And that's why we saw Cross as well take a high line straight to the outside. Unfortunately, John Cross is gonna need his own group there to fix that car. And by that, I do mean cross collision and body. Proud sponsor of OSR. Not the way that the TIG car wanted to get some love tonight, but we do appreciate their sponsorship of the Ohio Sim Racing Group. Out front, Robert Barber leading here on lap number 6. We're going to step aside just one moment. You're watching Turn 1. They get doubled up for the restart here on lap number 8. As Ohio Sim Racing under the lights on turn 1, 62 exciting Xfinity laps right here at Auto Club. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and I was right. Miss Bobby Jackson, hello. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We see Jeff By in the chat as well over on Facebook saying, go Van Meter. Cheering on Britt Van Meter in the 27 car. He currently is sitting back in P8 right now on the high side of the 51. We all know if Britt has anything to say about it, he's going to be dangling around the front here in a short amount of time. We'll see how it all plays out. Again, 62 laps of racing action here at Auto Club. This is going to be a lot of fun. Already, it's unfortunate we're already 8 laps into this because it is going to be a really quick and wild race here tonight. We should see these drivers come down pit road, I do believe, around lap 40 to 45. Well, I would call it 40 for pit stops. They do have 2 sets of tires in the pits there if they were to need them. And of course, OSR does have NASCAR overtime. If we get there, we'll talk about it, but hopefully we don't need it. Robert Barber, River Hayes on the front row, Lane Hosler, Philip Ellis, row 2, Aaron Jackson, and Noah Kaufman, row number 3, getting ready to go back green under the lights here at Auto Club. Barber's going to lead them all the way down past the pit road entrance into the Geico restart zone, and away they go. Green flag back out. Everybody working their way through the gearbox. Barber had a clean start there. Lane Hosler looking for a spot on the very bottom. We saw how many lanes there could be here and how many passing opportunities, different ways you can make passes happen depending on your driving style and the car handling. But those two are now pressuring our leader. Barber in a little bit of trouble on the high side with the 54 all over his bumper. Hayes now had to back off, moves to the bottom of the racetrack. Hosler is going to do the same. Both those drivers looking for an angle here to get by. We saw the 54 all the way to the apron there last time by. Now Gonna challenge the leader on the inside. Gonna try to squeeze the nose in there. The car's gonna get tight. He's gonna slide up the track for the 54. In the meantime, Barber's gonna start to set that pace a little bit here. This is where we saw him start pulling away. After about a lap or so, getting up to speed, he's real consistent, running near the bottom of the racetrack here. He can be defensive if he needs to, but he looks fast early here tonight. In the meantime, those two are going to continue to fight it out while Philip Ellis is going to sit back there, P4. Noah Kaufman sitting in P5 right now. Aaron Jackson side-by-side battling with James Curl. Jackson's going to be 3 wide in the middle here, but plenty of space as they roll through turn 1. James is going to try to occupy the bottom. Take the short way around the racetrack while Jackson's going to be in the middle and take the air off the 51. They're both going to move up to the high side. Jackson's going to move down to the middle of the racetrack. He's going to cleanly take P6 there. In the meantime, we look a little further back. That's Russ Spain and Britt Van Meter side by side. This is back here for 8th position. Racing all over the racetrack. In the meantime, we go back up front and nothing's changed. We've got Robert Barber up front right now. Lane Halser P2, River Hayes P3. Those drivers kind of cruising around here tonight. Waiting for Barber to slip up. Outside of Aaron Jackson, who is alongside Noah Kaufman, the top 10 single file as they come down the backstretch. That 12 car right underneath Kaufman here, looking for any opportunity he could get, maybe picking up a little bit of the draft off of Ellis. Right to the bottom. Still side by side. As you can tell, this racetrack here at Auto Club in California, very wide. You can run about 4 different lanes here, and really those seams, those black lines in the racetrack you see, kind of dictate those lines, all depending on your driving style and how the car handles. In a fixed setup series like this is with OSR, really everybody's, you're playing with, spec racers. Everybody at this point is running the same setup, the same car. It's all about your driving ability, all about how you can get the car to maneuver to your liking, which this track is going to allow you to do. If you want to run up against the wall a little bit, be in the throttle a little bit more, you can do that. You want to pinch it down on the bottom, try to gain a little bit of a time advantage there. You can do that. All of that's possible, but ultimately, when you start increasing your skill level and start bringing it up in terms of what you're capable of, everybody's just looking for the fastest line on the racetrack, and we're starting to see that starting to materialize. Everybody's they quit hunting across the track. They're diving it in hard and then scrubbing up the track at 3 and 4, and they're riding the bumps out in turn 1. So everybody's starting to feel about the same line here, as they've got about 12 to 13 green flag laps on these tires. This is a perfect example here. Lane about 2 lanes lower than the 54 of River Hayes. It's just a different beast, and it's a great place to be. It's a fun track to watch races at. And again, it gives you all sorts of different opportunities in places that may not exist otherwise, including some spectacular finishes, both IRL and in the sim we've seen over the years. Robert Barber continues to lead out front right now, setting his own pace here. But the 54 and the 61 have not let him get too far out. In the meantime, the 7 car is having a decent run so far. Philip Ellis currently sitting 4th. Noah Kaufman 5th. Him and Jackson look like they've settled their dispute for a little while. Here at about, I would say, let's call it another 10 laps. We're going to just really start to see who used up maybe the right rear on the start of that race, or who really has burned up the tires trying to run a line that maybe they shouldn't be running long term. As lap times already, especially for our leaders, started to have fallen off here, just about a second now, as the 54 gets a big run off of turn 1. Barber slow through the trap actually last time by. Really now paying for it. Barber in trouble with the 54 and the 61 on his tail. What turned out from a side-by-side battle really materializes to nothing here. It's almost like they hit a brick wall. Barber's going to lead that lap. And last time by, still run about a 10th slower than River Hayes. River just looking for any lane, but just cannot get by that 8 car. He's really fast in 1 and 2. You see it there again alongside our leader, but just cannot get that pass done. But that, I tell you what, that may do it right there. River Hayes now going to slide by the 8 car. He's going to move up to try to block the air. The 8's going to go all the way up against the wall, but that's a long way to travel. And there you have it. New leader, lap number 19 is going to be River Hayes. And all of a sudden, Barber is slow, going all the way back to 5th there, all the way through after just basically turn 3 and 4. You know, we were talking about that tire wear. Maybe the 8 car was a little aggressive on those Goodyears. Oh no, I think we've seen Lane Hosler get into the wall. Everybody's having a Dyson drive around him here. He's sliding back quickly. Right now, River Hayes up front. And your leader, Philip Ellis, P2, Noah Kaufman. Robert Barber, your top 4. Jackson's into the top 5 for the first time here tonight. Everybody is jockeying around for a spot, wanting to make something happen here. Jonathan, we see you over on Facebook, Mr. Cross. That is unfortunate. Both cars a total loss. Nothing even the Cross collision and body guys can do here tonight for the 70 and the 10. Their nights are going to end early after some on-track contact. Meanwhile, it's been some exciting racing so far. Robert Barber led a good smidge of laps here, the first 20. But right now, currently sitting P4. He's under fire. But the 51, the 12. And somehow, the 61 of Lane Hosler back there also giving him some trouble, even though they're not on the lead anymore. Jackson's going to squeeze by the 8 car and try to on the inside line. If history's going to reserve itself here, the 8's going to have a little bit of trouble in 3 and 4. Jackson's going to slide by. All 3 cars going to make it clean, 3 wide through 3 and 4. Jackson's going to be in the lead, though, off the corner, but just that a little bit more track on the outside. Oh, that was going to be close. I think Jackson was in his position that time by. As we look ahead, River Hayes up front, 0.4 of a second over Philip Ellis. Philip Ellis and then Noah Kaufman, and pretty much a 1-2-3 kind of group scattered out by a couple car lengths and pretty safe. The battle is back here really for 4th. Right now being led by James Curl. Robert Barber's back there, then Aaron Jackson, Lane Hosler, Russ Despain. Kind of all in this big group here. Can't really find a way to get away from one another as they're side by side and running strong here as they come across the stripe for lap number 23. Taking a look a little further back, that's Ryan Pelfrey in the top 10 here. Currently sitting 9th, Cody Smith. Britt Van Meter currently sitting 11th. Mark Lucius, Taylor Locklear, Derek Grigsby, Brian Torrey, your top 15. Everybody in the back here just hanging tight. No point in pushing the issue too much. Still very early for this 28 car field of this OSR Xfinity season. They're still back here battling. They cannot get away from one another. And that is the beauty. We were talking about tire fall off and different lines. And that is what True Auto Club was all about. Kind of racing in all sorts of different lines, different places, in different ways, and lanes, and just whatever makes you happy. And the car feel good as Jackson now under pressure by the 33 of Ryan Pelfrey. Pelfrey looking on the inside, trying to get clear of the 12. In the meantime, we're going to move up front here because that almost half a second lead has now erased itself. River Hayes has got a little bit of a problem in the mirror. It's called the 7 car. Philip Ellis closed in to 2/10 that last time by, and he's brought company with him. That's Noah Kaufman, who really is our biggest gainer here in the top 5, up 6 spots so far tonight. Has really been consistent in the 17. Making it look good here in the top 3. As we see right there, Philip Ellis is going to ride in the tire tracks of the 54. As they come to the stripe to take lap 26, I would expect to see these drivers down pit road the next 15 laps or so. A lot of wild racing happening here under the lights as we look back again. I think I saw some 2 and 3 wide to get that whole group still racing one another. Pretty hard. That's Pelfrey on the bottom, charging fast. What in the world happened there? I believe that was Barber that had a terrible turn 1. He's going to hold up Aaron Jackson. And Lane Hoser, they're going to lose a ton of spots. We saw Pelfrey come through there 10 mile an hour faster. In the meantime, looking up front, River Hayes is happy to see the 7 car under a little bit of pressure from the 17 and then the 51 back in the mix. You see the 54 on the high side. Look at that deep drive through the bottom of the corner. Who was that? Who was that deep through the corner there? That was a lap car. I think that has been down pit road. We have had a set of pit stops already. Actually, not now that I just grabbed that. That looks like Derek, looks like a couple drivers. Nope, these guys have been down pit road here not recently. That was Scott Formosa driving around. He had been on pit road lap number 21. He's actually going to be kind of the first driver to pit about 6 laps ago. We did have a couple folks come down on lap number 6 to take fuel, but not many. Formosa, monster trucking it around here. He feels like $1 million as these lap times are now nearly 2 seconds a lap slower than they were at the start of the race here tonight. His tires starting to wear on this abrasive California racetrack. While the track's not super hot, it is going to wear. It scuffs these tires pretty easily. Got about 6 or 7 really good laps that you can feel like a superhero. Then you got to figure it out pretty quickly. These drivers right now just trying to do just that. Figure it out, ride it out. There's a number in their head they all want to get to. They know that for the most part, they're nearly halfway home. They've got 2 sets in the pits. When do they want to call the use of those? When is the right time? And then, by the way, you also got to figure out the fuel aspect of it. When's the best time to come down from a fuel standpoint? Well, all things to consider here tonight as they come across the stripe to take lap number 30. River Hayes up front has been leading for a bit here, but Philip Ellis is going to pressure him a little bit on the bottom. This is the first time Ellis has been there as they roll through 3 and 4. The 7 car looking to make a lead change here all the way to the bottom. He's been riding in the tire tracks of the 54 for the last 5 laps or so. He's going to move up, and he's going to have it lead change halfway at Auto Club. Philip Ellis up front for the first time here tonight. The 54 says, no way, Jose, we are not done with this. The 54 now to the bottom of the racetrack. Looking for a little bit of speed. Here comes Kaufman saying, gentlemen, you two are not going to be the only ones having some fun up here. 3-way battle for the lead as they come down to the backstretch. Again, halfway already here tonight for OSR racing action On turn one, hello, I'm Sean Fitz. Thank you so much for being here. 62 laps of Auto Club Racing live under the lights on a new build on a Thursday night. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're live across all three platforms, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. If you haven't already done so, get connected wherever you consume content. Share the stream with your friends. This is a good place to be on a Thursday night. Philip Ellis out front. Again, for the first time here tonight. A lead change on the halfway, lap number 31 lap. Ellis is able to maintain that lane, or maintain that lead. Not really gaining too much here, with River Hayes kind of rolling right in his tire tracks as well. James Curl sitting in third position. Noah Kaufman, Brian Pelfrey, your top five. Lane Hosler, P6. We saw Aaron Jackson go backwards behind the 8 car a while ago. Well, he's made up some spots back up to 7. Cody Smith, Taylor Locklear, Derek Grigsby, your top 10. We see a car coming off pit road. Oh, that's Robert Barber. He's on pit road. And I believe that was Scott Despain. It was another really fast driver. He's going to come down pit road on lap 31, and so is Robert Barber. Green flag pit stops officially in the happenings here. Our pole sitter, I'm sorry, not our pole sitter, but our fastest driver, and I would argue probably led the most laps so far here tonight, down pit road for tires and fuel. He's going to be joined by Chris Hockley, going to come down pit road. J.R. Hobson's on pit road as well. Green flag pit stops underway. Now, keep in mind, we were just talking about how these lap times are right at 2 seconds a lap slower than they were on the fastest tires. We saw Formosa drive around the leaders like they were sitting still earlier. What are you going to do if you're one of these drivers who need to gamble? You need to make up a little bit of time. Come down pit road. That's what we're seeing Barber do. He came down pit road. He led a bunch of laps, maybe burned off the tires a little bit, but now Barber down pit road early here, trying to get an advantage. Brad Lee's also going to head down pit road for tires and fuel. Who's going to be the first down pit road of the top 5? Does that bring the whole group with them? And boy, howdy, there is a tanglement of a mess back here. I believe that's Despain, Aaron Jackson, Locklear, Grigsby, Richard Lucky is in this mess. There's the 8 of Barber. He has nowhere to go as Jackson's going to cut down pit road. He's going to join Pelfrey as well. Jackson may have had a little bit of trouble getting down there. Green flag pit stops officially underway for what I would argue the back half of the top 10 and more. Who's going to pit from the top 5 first? It's going to be guaranteed at least a 2-second lap advantage, as you see Despain drive through the middle of that group and make it look easy on those new Goodyears. He's going to unlap himself as they come across the stripe. Watch the speed through the corner. Ellis is going to take the high side, and then see you later. Russ Despain's gone. He's out of here. Oh, and there's Robert Barber. Again, driving around these guys in the corner, just making it look easy here. Up front, the 7 car of Ellis continuing to stay out here. Lap number 37 of 62. While it's a 3-wide battle behind him, the same troubled gentleman, James Curl, River Hayes, Noah Kaufman, all battling it out for that second spot. So we look down the running order. Really nobody else down pit road last time by. We still have quite a few drivers, about half of the field yet to come down pit road. Again, if you're one of these top 5 drivers, top 8 drivers, when do you come? And do you do it kind of off the cuff before everybody else? Again, it's going to be good for at least 2 seconds if you have a solid in and out. What are you going to make of it here as they come across the stripe? 24 to go. Here comes Ryan Pelfrey through the field. You see that there on the very bottom of the ride? Well, no, you don't. He's going to slide right through this lead pack on the bottom and drive right by him. He's going to unlap himself. He's already been down pit road once tonight. Jackson, deep dive into the inside there. He's trying to navigate through some traffic. And there you have it. We have a front contender down pit road. River Hayes is going to be joined by Cody Smith. This is going to give River, if he can execute this pit stop cleanly, at least a 2-second advantage. That will put him in the lead. Brian Torrey down pit road. River needs everything to stay green flag now, and he needs everybody to, hey, the longer you stay out, the better it is for me. The 54 down pit road. Aaron Jackson's going to squeeze by these leaders here again. He's been down pit road already, and then that's going to bring a couple others down. That's Lane Hosler, Taylor Locklear, Cody Jayberg. Looks like Brent Van Meter, the 27 is also going to come down pit road. Again, green flag pit stops underway, 22 laps remaining. This is the closest I've seen the 51 to the bumper of the 7 in the last couple laps. And Ellis is going to move down, try to block the run of the 51. Ellis also moving down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to get ready to pit. The 7 car pitting from the lead. Can he get it slowed down? He's going to. He's going to bring Kaufman with him. Leaders down pit road. James Curl's going to inherit the lead alongside Richard Lucky, Derek Grigsby as well in the top 3. Chris Lucky, Mark Lucius, your top 5. Scott Hobson and Patrick Schaefer sitting 7th. Pretty much 7 drivers left to come down pit road for the first time here. We'll come down pit road for this set of tires and fuel. Now, as this all shakes out, right now, Scott Formosa will inherit the lead. He came down pit road at lap number 21, about 10 laps before really anybody else started considering it. Robert Barber currently he's going to cycle out to P2. Russ Despain, Ryan Pelfrey, and Aaron Jackson. It's going to be the running order again once this all kind of shakes out. Unless we see a caution, that could change everything. James Curl pitting from P7 here. Richard Lucky, on the other hand, hey, bring the caution out. Or did that pit stop on lap number 6, that little splash of gas for Richard Lucky, is that enough to get him all the way to the end? That would not be the first time we've seen Richard Lucky play the fuel strategy and tire management game. It's also, very suspicious that Chris Lucky also running that same strategy. Is it enough to get there? Has he been able to save? I don't know if it's going to be quite possible, but we're going to find out. Because we've got 19 coming up on 18 laps remaining. Lucky out front, 5.5 seconds over his brother, Scott Hobson. Oh, nope, there it is. Lucky's going to come down pit road. Apparently there is not enough fuel in that 67 car. That's going to bring Scott Hobson with him. Again, it's going to leave only 2 drivers out. As we look back through how this is going to cycle through, Barber's going to cycle back to the lead. Formosa's moved back to 3rd with Russ Despain sitting P2. Ryan Pelfrey, Aaron Jackson making up the rest of the top 5. Again, once Chris Lucky and Patrick Schaefer come down pit road, So, you may be asking, well, where's the 7 car? Where did Ryan Pelfrey, I'm sorry, not Ryan Pelfrey, where did Philip Ellis cycle through against all of the pit stops here? With Lucky and Schaefer still needing to come down, Philip Ellis is sitting P9. And has got some work to do with here 17 laps remaining. Does he have enough laps for those tires to matter? He's obviously going to be faster, but the delta there is going to be in those first 10 laps or so. Does he have enough to drive his way to the front? We're going to find out. Schaefer is down pit road. That's for tires and fuel. Chris Lucky, the only driver left up front. He'd love to see the caution flag come out right now, take the track position. He's going to stay out another lap. 16 laps remaining. Robert Barber, Russ Despain, Ryan Pelfrey, Aaron Jackson, your top 5. River Hayes in the 54 will move back into the top 5 once Lucky comes down pit road. Let's again talk about the 7 car. 22.5 seconds off the lead currently. He's going to be gaining pretty quick here, but he's got to gain those 22 seconds back, and he's only got 16 laps to do it. Let's time him right now. 22.2 seconds off the lead. Let's see what that looks like as he races around through turn 1. We'll see how that materializes, what it looks like. And that delta to our leader. Will he have enough time to catch him? And actually, all of this is going to wash out now that I look at it. But we'll see here. Stay tuned. Give me just a moment. We'll find out. As Pelfrey comes, or not Pelfrey, Ellis comes back around. He took about 2 seconds off the lead there, shaved off the lead of Chris Lucky. I don't know if that's going to materialize to much there. That's only about 2 seconds. If he can keep that pace up, he's going to get there. We'll see how it all shakes out, though. In the meantime, Chris Lucky up front. Robert Barber, P2. Pretty big gap back between those drivers. But now, Robert Barber has Pelfrey, Despain, River Hayes, Aaron Jackson, Philip Ellis. They're all kind of right here under an umbrella with each other. So Lucky really just has the big gap out front, begging for the caution to come out here with 14 to go. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hello there, Misfits. Appreciate you being here. Up front, Chris Lucky. Hoping to get a little lucky here at Auto Club. 13 to go. Leading, Robert Barber, Pelfrey, Hayes, Despain, Ellis. Aaron Jackson's currently sitting P7. Lane Hosler, Noah Kaufman, and Christopher Hockley up front. And Mr. Hockley running that Jiffy Lube paint scheme. We gotta do a little business while we're sitting here waiting for these drivers to get this wrapped up here tonight. Want to thank everybody over at Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, again for their sponsorship of OSR and their support. Without them, races like tonight may not necessarily always occur, so we appreciate their great support of Ohio Sim Racing. River Hayes going to squeeze by Pelfrey on the bottom here. Again, this is all going to be for position once it's said and done. They're really fighting for the lead once Chris Lucky comes down pit road, or if he comes down pit road, or if he runs out of fuel, whatever it looks like. This is your fight for the lead. Oh, and by the way, we were talking about that 7 car. Was he going to be there at the end? Well, guess what? Philip Ellis, he's right there and ready to battle it out here. And Richard Lucky, he's going to pit from the lead. I wanted that caution to come out so bad, but it's not going to happen. And Chris Lucky down pit road. River Hayes is going to inherit the lead here as they come by pit road. And it's going to be pretty much a 4-way battle, 3-way battle for the lead. Hayes, Pelfrey, and Ellis. all up front, looking for a checker flag as Ellis drives by Pelfrey on the bottom. That shows you the tire difference. And he's going to look to do the same to the 54. That tire call that I posted gave a little bit of doubt to, paying off. Philip Ellis up front, working his magic. He's been really quick through turn 1 all night. He's going to suck into the bumper of the 54 as they come across the front stretch. 10 laps remaining here tonight. And we've got a battle for the lead. Ellis up front on the high side, or on the high side rather, for the 54 on the bottom. Ellis is going to switch him up. It's going to be a drag race down the backstretch. Ellis is going to retake the lead here with 10 to go, but the 54 is not done, trying to cross him up on the bottom. It's going to try to complete a slide job there. They're going to make contact. The 54 is going to get in the wall, nearly makes contact back with the 7. Lead change, 9 to go. New leader, Philip Ellis. River Hayes may have a little bit of damage, as well as the 7 car. I believe some contact was made. Pelfrey, smelling blood in the water, sitting P2 right in the tire tracks of the 7. Everybody kind of hanging out now. Everything's settled down a little bit once we saw the lead change there. 8 to go here. With Ellis up front, Pelfrey running P2. River Hayes under a little bit of pressure from Lane Hosler, and then Hosler, then Robert Barber P5. Noah Kaufman, Aaron Jackson currently sitting 7th. Richard Lucky P8. Russ Despade P9. James Curl rounding out the top 10. And then we've got a little bit of a battle here. That's Jay Berg, Derek Grigsby, Chris Hockley, Cody Smith, Britt Van Meter, all kind of hunting around that 15th place. There's so much talent in this group. And everybody's racing like it's the last lap every lap. Hayes back in it here. He caught his breath. Settled the car down a little bit, down to the bottom of the racetrack. Wasn't able to get clear, but here comes Pelfrey in the tire tracks of the 7. Ryan may have had an opportunity to make a pass there on Philip Ellis as we see Hayes in the 7 side by side. That's going to push the 7 up the track. Really aggressive racing by the 54. He's going to pay for it, though. That may have been his last shot. It was a pretty aggressive move, and now Pelfrey there, trying to take advantage and take that spot back. Now, going to bring the 61 into the picture. Philip Ellis not allowing the 54 to drive him up the racetrack too far, but there's definitely a little bit of hard racing between those two drivers. The fight's going to be for second here with 6 to go. Now, if I'm the driver of the 54, I want to sit back a little bit. Maybe that's what he just did. Sit back a little bit, kind of wait for things to shake out, let the tires cool down, make one more big run at this. But right now, the 54, he's in some trouble. Pelfrey there, we've seen him be fast and be up here for the last 20 laps or so. What can he get done? Everybody is basically the top five, all fighting for the lead here as they come to the stripe. 5 laps remaining. Oh, this is going to be 4 laps remaining, rather. Ellis just tried to run his own race. In the rearview mirror, it is chaos. He is trying to hold everybody off, but he has not really changed his line through 1 and 2. With Richard Lucky making a drive up there. Where did Richard Lucky come from? Out of nowhere. Here comes the 67 of Richard Lucky on the inside of the 7. Gonna move up, try to take the air off the 7 car. Ellis has nowhere to go. 3 laps remaining. Richard Lucky up front for the first time. Drag race as they roll through 1 and 2. Lap car to contend with. Ellis is going to go underneath the 67, but Richard Lucky's going to motor by him on the outside. 3 laps, fresher tires on the 67 as they roll down the backstretch. Ellis's, what I would consider pretty much lead and race win, was all in the books 2 laps ago, but now Richard Lucky in the 67 car out of nowhere finds pace. 2 laps remaining here tonight. And all of a sudden, the fight back in there, back for P2 is all dissipated. Ellis is going to settle in. Pelfrey, Hayes, and Lane Hosley are top 5. Lane and Hayes is going to, Lane and Rivers going to fight it out here for that last spot. But Richard Lucky, he's got that thing set in overdrive right now. He's cruising 0.6 of a second and continuing to grow. Richard Lucky, you know, I'm not shocked one bit. Out of the driver of the 67, we saw him come down pit road late. We knew that he came down pit road on lap 6, had a little bit of a later fuel window. And right now, he's out front on the white flag lap one more time around here at Auto Club. Seven laps ago, this was the 7 cars race to win. Out front, 310s had a big fight in the rear view. But now, Richard Lucky in the 67 in 5 laps develops a 1-second lead, and he's going to bring home the checkered flag. Richard Lucky wins at Auto Club. Back behind him, Philip Ellis is going to bring home P2. Ryan Pelfrey's in the grass for 3rd. And the 61, Elaine Hoser is going to bring home a respectable 4th. River Hayes going to finish in the top 5. What a wild finish here tonight. Richard Lucky, your winner. Under the lights at Auto Club for Ohio Sim Racing. What a finish that was. We're going to step aside for just a minute. We'll bring you some post-race coverage and talk to these drivers about this incredible race. You're watching Turn 1. Wild night in the books here at Auto Club. Going to talk to our race winner, Richard Lucky. Richard, 7 laps ago, I think you were in the, at the concession stand, now sitting in victory lane. What did you figure out in that 67 that nobody else had here in the late going?
I don't know, Sean. I really messed up that race strategy because I thought that even 5-lap fresher tires would be good here. So on that early caution that we had, I decided to come down pit road. Nobody else came. I took tires on it, and I, even told my brother, like, man, I think I just messed up my whole race, and I needed it to go green there. A caution would have killed my strategy. But I couldn't drive through traffic as fast as I anticipated, so I just tried to keep the right front on it. I wanted to be the, fastest car on fresh rubber at the end there, and I still didn't think I was going to get there, and all of a sudden there it was. So just kept digging all night and ended up front. I mean, sometimes it just happens that way.
I don't know if I call that just happening, but nonetheless, the 67 car victory lane here at Auto Club. Richard, congratulations on a dominant win there in the last 5 laps. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for doing the broadcast. Thanks everybody at OSR. It was a great race with everybody through the field tonight. It was very clean. Appreciate everybody in this league, not just the guys that run it, but the guys that are, turning laps every week, and they make it real enjoyable. Everyone's real professional, and thanks to all of our sponsors and everything. So once again, thank you, and see you in a week or two, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see you again, Richard. Thank you so much. Richard Lucky, your winner here at Auto Club. And we're going to talk to Philip Ellis, who, man, I tell you what, has got to be shedding some tears on the helmet of that 7 car tonight. Philip, congratulations, P2. Not what you were looking for there. Talk to me with 10 to go. What did you think was going to be kind of the end of this thing?
Yeah, I looked back with 10 to go, and I knew I was in trouble. When I came off pit road, I thought the race was with River, so I pushed extremely hard, and I know I wore my tires out pretty hard. I just didn't save enough for the end. I didn't think there was anything coming behind us, and I realized at the end that I was pretty well screwed. I couldn't turn.
Philip, we saw, I didn't even see that coming, and to Richard's point, it was just about 5 laps or so fresher tires. You waited till the very end there to come down towards the mid kind of late end of that pit cycle. Did you have a number in mind when you wanted to come down, or was it just kind of the feel of what the field was doing and knowing obviously the tire fell off after a run here? What was your thought for pit strategy?
Yeah, I wanted to run it as long as I could. I think I had about 2 laps left of fuel, so it was a good time to come in. And I didn't think there would be enough laps, honestly, for anybody else pitting later to catch up. I thought, the gap was pretty extreme on old tires and fresh tires. I mean, like almost 3 seconds a lap. So it is what it is. I'm happy with second. It was a fun race, clean race. Hard racing up front. So I had a good time. That's all that matters for me. Yeah, I mean, I want to win, but we'll get there.
We absolutely will. P2 tonight, Philip Ellis here at Auto Club. Philip, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll go to third place, Ryan Pelfrey. We saw him battle it out throughout the entire field. I think Pelfrey had every other fight on the track tonight. Ryan, congratulations on a solid top 3. Talk to me through the last 10 laps or so. They're pretty much everybody fighting for the lead between lap 10 to go with about 6 to go. Talk to me about the fight there and inside the car, trying to work through the traffic of everybody picking different lanes.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Yeah, it was a really fun race. The last bit there, I'd pitted before and won by probably about 5 laps or so, and so I was just trying to wait for them to catch me but not burn it off, and they got to me, but I was okay. And then I was going to make a move on Phil, and River shot down the inside and kind of screwed my whole plane up. And then so I was stuck with River and stuck behind Phil, and like Phil said, all of a sudden here comes Lucky. But then it was just once I got clear of River, I knew I was better than Phil. It was just could I actually get the run to complete it. I tried there in turn 3 and 4 in the last lap to send it, but it wasn't turning well. But it was a lot of fun. I pitted with Richard. I didn't take tires. I was able to get back up there, and I have no idea where he came from. I was shocked to see that. So, but it was a really fun race. Got to thank Cross Collision and Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg for putting it on, and was it Lucius Graphics and Hawk Digital Designs for what they do with OSR, and the guys at OSR as well.
Ryan Pelfrey, P3 here tonight at Auto Club. Ryan, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Sean.
And with that, we're going to wrap up race coverage here tonight. What a wild finish under the lights here at Auto Club. I said at the top of the race that no matter what, if you were going to be there you're going to be there for a race on a Thursday night, this one was the one to be at. So glad to see everybody enjoyed it. The racers had a great time on track, and we'll see them again here in the next couple weeks. On Sunday night, we head back to Sim 500 and go racing with those set of drivers. And then Monday night, Rob, we see you in chat, by the way. Thanks so much for tuning in. Yes, the voice is 95%. We are so happy. But we will be talking, we'll be back with the American Sim Racing Tour and the super speedway racing of those drivers here on Monday night as well. On behalf of Ohio Sim Racing and everybody racing tonight at Auto Club, I'm Sean Fitz. We appreciate you being here. Again, want to thank our sponsors tonight. That is Jiffy Lube and Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, PA for their support, as well as Cross Collision and Body for their support as well. It's been a really interesting night here at Auto Club, and that's the kind of racing you will see here on Turn 1. So make sure you get tuned in each and every week with us. We'll catch you next time. I'm Sean Fitz. Until next time, be safe, everyone. Bye-bye now.